Hey everyone, thank you for logging in. If somebody could do me a favor and type into the attendee chat that you can hear me okay? Okay, perfect. And any questions you guys have while we're going through, just type them in there and I'll monitor that while we go, and I will answer any questions you guys have. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and dive in here to not take up too much time. And we will walk through this workflow. So let me go ahead and share my screen and start this presentation. Okay, so you guys should be seeing my screen now. If you can't, let me know. But basically, I just want to, the goal here today is to kind of introduce you to what we're doing with this integration, and then show you exactly what this looks like from a next-gen customer perspective. Obviously, I don't need to get into the next-gen side. Everyone that's in the webinar or will be watching the recording of this webinar will be next-gen customers, so we know how that works. And we want to really talk about what it looks like to get the stuff over to GotPhoto. So the first thing, the goal here is simply to get your next-gen graphics into GotPhoto sales galleries. So, you know, with next-gen, I think you guys already know, my goal is to help you guys be successful and having a good, if you're going to do post-sales, gallery sales, the easiest way to get the stuff from next-gen into those gallery sales is obviously going to save you guys time and help you. So we wanted to do this integration to just kind of shore up and make this process as efficient and useful as possible. So the two important parts of this are, you know, the matching the subject data to the images you capture. You know, if you're a next-gen customer already, you know that's a big part of what you already have to do, whether you're, you know, regardless of how you carry out that process, making sure that somebody's position on the roster has images assigned to it. Okay, so that is still obviously very important. We'll talk about that in a second. And then the other very important part is setting up these galleries, these private galleries, so that you can have that smooth communication channel with the parents. Because you could have really great galleries, but if you're not speaking to the parents and being able to get that in front of them, it really is irrelevant. So that's the two sides. We want to match our subjects to our images just like we always have, and then we want to efficiently be able to get those over into the galleries with our parent contact information intact so that we can start that communication channel through GotPhoto. And you know, one of the things I really like about the GotPhoto system is that communication, that automated drip communication. And I will say right now, I am not an expert in GotPhoto, so I know they're doing a deep dive tomorrow as well, so you could always go over to their website, register for their webinar, and watch a deep dive from their side of the process as well. So everybody that's in here right now, chat and let me know who already has a GotPhoto account, just so I know what. I know Missy, you don't. I know Sean doesn't. But Brandon, Damian, and Jeremy, do you guys have accounts already and are already using GotPhoto? No? Okay, Damian doesn't. Okay, so Jeff doesn't. I think this will solve that, Jeff. And then I don't know about Brandon, but maybe he'll chime in. Okay, so but those are the two important sides. So you're matching your images to your data. On the next-gen side, it doesn't matter if you are barcode scanning in next-gen or your manual processing in next-gen, which is basically writing down your image numbers, keying those into a spreadsheet and importing that in. So again, next-gen side, barcode scanning, manual processing, both totally work. Next-gen side really doesn't change that much. If you're already a GotPhoto customer, they have barcode scanning on their side as well, and more popular probably are their QR codes. And again, both of those work perfectly here. We just really need to have a roster full of athlete or subject information, parent contact information, and then be able to assign those images to that data. So whether you're doing it on the next-gen side or you're doing that matching on the GotPhoto side, this will work either way. So let's talk for a second about the access codes. Because again, if you're not a next-gen or you're not a GotPhoto customer already, access codes sounds kind of obscure, but it's not really. It's basically the access codes contain your parent contact information and, sorry, I have a typo there, subject information. So it basically takes the subject information, what team they're on, their jersey number, whatever information you have, and the parent contact information, and uses that information to set up a private gallery. So just think of your access code sort of as the thing that separates your images into one group, so that basically you can have a bunch of different images and one access code, so that one contact information, when an email hits the email of the parent and they click on it, all of these images that are attached to that access code will be there for them to buy from. So basically, use the access code as the anchor, put the images that are assigned to that access code in it, and that creates a gallery, and that's what goes out to the parents. So we want this process to be really easy, but just dumping all the photos into one gallery, sending that gallery link out, and having parents have to go and dig through everybody's pictures to find their kid is a little cumbersome. So in this process, using the access code, everybody gets their own gallery. When they land on the page or on the sales site, they go right to their images. And Jeff said it's a great concept for buddies and siblings. And like you can see, this is one of Bob's jobs, and he's got smiling and serious poses, versions of each of these poses, some with the name, some without the name. He's got 4 different memory mates and all this stuff. But when a parent lands on this gallery, they're going to see all that content all in one place. So it's really great. And we will look at that and what that looks like. The other thing that GotPhoto has figured out, which has been sort of problematic with people that are doing gallery sales, but pre-rendering out these print-ready graphics, is that parents being able to print a memory mate onto a wallet, for instance. We don't want that to happen. We don't sell memory mate buttons for a reason. The formatting is not right. It's not going to land. It's not going to fit on the button correctly. So because of that, GotPhoto has a way of separating out your memory mates so that you can sort of control either a higher price point for those products and or limit what products you can actually print this graphic onto. And that's why they're kind of sitting alone, is because we put those in their own folder so they can be, we can control what those end up on. All right, so with those access codes, it doesn't matter where the access codes are created or what they are. Basically, whether or not NextGen creates an access code or GotPhoto creates the access code, just as long as there's some unique code identifier, that's perfectly fine. And that's why both sides of this work. Again, the main goal is just to link those final graphics to the parent's contact information so that you can drop these onto their phones or email. So, and you'll kind of see this. So this looks a little confusing, but basically all it is, this is jobs that originate in GotPhoto. And I don't know if anybody currently in this webinar this is relevant to, but we're going to have this recording for people to watch, so I want to make sure I touch on this. If you are a GotPhoto customer and you're using their QR codes or barcodes or whatever, basically just like you would do in NextGen, you have to pre-upload some data. So you pre-upload a roster that has kids' names on it, what team they're on, parent contact information, to sort of set the job up in their system. So you import that roster, it sets up the job, and then it can spit out the QR codes for each kid. So then at the shoot, you basically photograph a QR code, photograph the kids, photograph a QR code, a kid, QR kid, over and over and over. And then when you upload that into GotPhoto, based on the sequence, okay, I've got a QR code, and now I've got a sequence of images. Then I have a QR code, and I have a sequence of images. Based on those, it will assign the images to each one of those QR codes. It's exactly how our barcode process works, where sequentially you have a barcode scan, then you have images, then you have a barcode scan, images, on and on and on. So same process, same concept, just different. But basically, then GotPhoto is doing that matching. It's matching the images to the subject's data. So at that point, in GotPhoto, you can direct download a roster that is formatted for NextGen. So your roster that you download from GotPhoto will have this extra column on it that's basically got the access code attached to it. So when you import that into NextGen, sort of in the background, that access code rides along with the job, so that then once you've gone through the NextGen process and proofing and your job is completed and ready for download, you can then export out GotPhoto data that now has the new graphic file names in it, and then also still has the original access code. And this can be imported back into GotPhoto, and now your new graphics get reattached to those access codes that were already set up by GotPhoto. So the arrows kind of look a little confusing, but basically you're importing a roster into GotPhoto, printing out your QR codes and shooting your job. You're uploading that information back into GotPhoto so that it can match the images to the player data, download a NextGen roster directly already formatted, ready to go straight out of GotPhoto, set up your new job in NextGen, import in that roster, let us do the work you're used to having us do, memory proofing and all that stuff. Job is complete, download your graphics, and download your GotPhoto export, and now you can go back over to GotPhoto and push these right back up into their platform pretty seamlessly. Okay, so that's that side of it. If the job originates in GotPhoto, so again, their QR code system is taking all these photos of this kid and assigning them to that access code that is embedded into that QR code. Okay. Yeah. So again, I should have probably mentioned that before. If you didn't watch the initial introduction webinar we did about this, this is phase one. So phase one of a deeper integration was just us figuring out what the data going in and out needed to look like. And so we decided that if we were going to already know what this data looked like, we could go ahead and make this available for you to use sort of in this manual process, so that we can get your feedback, see, if we need new features as we build out phase two. Phase two will just be buttons, push to NextGen, push to GotPhoto, and you won't have to export data and import data. It will do this all in the background. But right now, since we already determined what the data handoff back and forth needed to look like, we figured we'd go ahead and go live with this sort of phase one manual integration lets you guys go ahead and export, import on your own while we build out the phase two portion, which hopefully will be done by fall season. So if you guys start to get this going and through the summer, you know, maybe if you have some swim or some small jobs over the summer, you can test this out. And then we will hopefully be geared up to be ready to do the phase two integration in the fall. All right, so now that's how, again, you get the jobs into GotPhoto, or out of GotPhoto into NextGen and back into GotPhoto. So now most of you that are in this presentation right now, this is more realistic, where your job is going to originate in NextGen. So in that scenario, you don't have to do anything on the GotPhoto side before you get your finished graphics back. You basically just run your jobs through NextGen the way you always have, whether you're just manually writing down image numbers, doing a data import and that, or you're barcode scanning and doing all of that. So yeah, Jeremy asked, if we do prepay already, we would need to have NextGen do all the graphics for every kid. I wouldn't do every graphic for every kid. I would just do a collection. Most people only do Memory Mate, 4x5 TV, which is basically a 4x5 graphic with their name, and then a 4x5 graphic without their name. So 3 graphics and the team picture. So you would basically, for every pose you want to do, you would do 3 graphics. That's my recommendation. So then if you're doing multiple poses, you would have those 3 graphics from every pose, essentially, that you're uploading into GotPhoto. So, and then again, this is a post-sale model. You know, you have a prepay model where parents are telling you what they want and you're designing just based on what they want. But this is a prepay model where you're doing this on spec. So you're building out a handful of graphics per pose to get onto a gallery, to push to the parents, to entice them to buy something, letting them see something before they buy it. So that's kind of the difference there. So you got prepay, you got post sales. All right, so, but if the job originates in NextGen, you're not going to see really that much different. It's just going to be that on the back end, you'll have GotPhoto data that you can download. So if we have additional graphics we need that are purchased from GotPhoto, I'm not following you, Jeremy. If you guys have like complex questions, you can ask those to me later. We can, you can email support or set up a one-on-one. And then, because if you guys have specific workflow questions, like I know some of you maybe have sort of a hybrid model, and there's going to be some things you have to do there. We can talk about those later. But on the NextGen side, manual data match or barcode scanning, however you're doing it, just everything basically as normal. And then at the back end of the job is where you'll basically get 2 download sheets that can go into NextGen. One is a names list. So it's basically just a roster. It's got the kids' names on it, the parent contact information, the parent name, and the access code, which in this instance, because the job originates in NextGen, that access code will be our barcode number, is basically what we're using as the access code. So you'll have a names list, and then you'll have the data sheet that actually contains the image numbers, so that then all of your graphics can be assigned to these names and contacts. And I'll actually show you that in 1 second. So when your job is done and completed, you just go to the details tab, and now you will see a GotPhoto data in this little job data area that's new. And you basically just download that CSV file or that pair of CSV files, and then you're ready to go. We just determined we needed that second CSV file. So we are actually in the process of getting that added to this. But by the time other people probably see this video, there will be 2 downloads that come from clicking this GotPhoto data. One will be, again, the names list, just a basic roster, and then one will be the data sheet that actually has the image numbers for the graphics on it. So right now I'm going to actually jump over to their website and show you what this looks like. But if you're not a GotPhoto customer and you want to get started, scan this QR, get set up. They have really good, new customer onboarding one-on-ones. They are doing a webinar tomorrow from their side, kind of talking about this integration as well, if you guys want to log into that. So right now, I'm going to jump over to the GotPhoto system, and we're going to look at this. So basically, what we have here is just basically what you get from NextGen is one folder that has your team images in it, one folder that has all of your individual graphics in it, and then your PNGs and all that stuff. So one of the things, again, to isolate out the memory mates, one of the things that I recommend is just go into your job. So basically you can see Bob has 3 poses, 3 graphics for every pose in here. Again, a spec job. So he just ran a 4.5 TV, a 4.5V, which is one with text, one without text, and a memory mate from every pose that he shot. Okay. So in this, on a Mac, basically, what I do is I say Command F for find, and I'm going to find everything in that folder that is _MM in the name, select all of them, and put them into their own folder, and I'll just call it memory mates. Okay, so now basically I've just isolated out that memory mate folder into its own folder. And then I'm just going to drag that outside of that JPEG folder so it can just sort of live on its own. And now I have basically my 4.5 files alone inside this JPEG folder. I have a memory mates folder and I have a teams folder. Okay, so that's basically it. I just want to separate out my memory mates so I can control how those are purchased. All right, so now that I've done that, I'm in NextGen system, or in GotPhoto's system. So all I do is go to Photo Jobs. I say Create New Job, and I'll just name this GotPhoto NextGen Deep Dive. And I'll just say I shot the job on last Saturday, and it is a baseball job. Okay, I'll save the job. And now I have a job set up in the system, but it doesn't have any data yet. So this is where that initial import of that roster comes into play. So I know that I want to have an access code for each person. That's the whole goal here. And I'm going to do QR tagging, but I'm just going to do a list of names right now. So I just want to upload that names list. So remember I said you're going to get 2 downloads. You're going to get your names list and you're going to get your data sheet. The names list is just simple names. And I actually plugged all the people that are are registered for the presentation today. And I'll actually go ahead and push this out so you guys can get each one of these little galleries so you can just have them and see how the galleries work. And then the data sheet actually has the file numbers on it. So this has the memory mates, the 4.5 files and all that stuff, so they can be attached to the access codes. So you can see the access code for this whole group of images is all the same. So basically all of these images, when this access code email goes out to the parent, they're going to see all of these files, including the team picture, when they go to see the pictures. All right. So the first thing I want to do is upload this name data. So it's giving me a message because I've uploaded this a few times testing, but you won't see this. It's just telling me that I've used these before, and that's fine. So, and you can see down here, things are already matching up, basically the league name, the group or team name, first name, last name, parent email, access code, all that stuff is auto syncing because we know what these headers are supposed to be like. And we just say start import. And this will take a second. While this imports, I can actually show you real quick. In my settings, if I go to my price profiles, I basically have my T&I cart. So this is basically all the photos that I want to sell. And the beauty here is that you can assign these prints to individual photos or group photos. So if you don't want certain ones of these to be able to have team pictures printed on them, you can set those up as individual only. So let's say like this sheet of smaller prints right here, if I wanted that to not be able to have a team picture printed on it, I can just set it up for individual only, and then a parent would never be able to put a team picture onto this specific product. The other side of that is my memory mates. Let's say I only wanted to allow 8x10 prints to be printed. I can set up a single price point for my memory mates and just have a 8x10 print, and then just set the selling price to whatever I want to sell that memory mate for. Okay, so now my memory mates can have their own little price structure so that I can limit what can be purchased, and I can charge more for it. So maybe your 8x10 prints of an individual picture are, $14, but memory mates, because they contain the team picture and the individual, are 24 or whatever, 20, whatever you want that. So you have some control, and that's why we separated out the memory mates so we could put them into their own folder. The parents will still see them all like normal, but they will only have certain options for products when they go into that. All right, so the cool thing is you can navigate away. You'll get an email when it's done importing. I'm assuming at this point it's done importing, so we are good to go. Let me just check my email over here on this other screen and just make sure that I got an email. I'll assume it's done. And just sometimes the little email took a minute longer than it actually took. So, all right. So now that my roster is in the system and I've got names and I've got access codes and all of that, now I can go over to photo management. One of the first things that I'll show you, they have their own little uploader, which is actually really nice and easy to use. So right now that I've uploaded my job, I hit refresh, and now you can see my job right here. So the first thing that I want to do is just basically import in just my initial individual images. Okay, so I'll take this JPEG folder that has all my 4.5 files in it, and I'll just drop it right here. So it shows them down here, and I can say start upload. And their uploader is actually really fast. Hopefully it's fast while I'm on this live webinar. Seems like it's taking a little longer. Let me stop Dropbox here. That eats up. So let me get these uploading. Sorry, I just want to see these little numbers go. I don't know why it's not. Let me cancel this and close and restart their uploader. Let's see if that helped. There they go. A little slower than it was when I wasn't doing the webinar, but you can see it actually uploads really quickly. So do you guys have any questions or anything while I'm at this upload step? All right, still crunching. Give that a second. So no FTP. When you say no FTP, what do you mean, Jeff? On the next gen side? Yeah, so again, the next gen process still goes like normal. When next gen says your job is completed, you'll log into the next gen FTP area, download all your finished graphics so you have those on your computer, and then download that data sheet from the detail tab. Damien asked how we capture data for multiple images for the CSV file for next gen. When you say multiple images, do you mean multiple poses? Like more than one pose? So that's where the alt poses. So you would have team images, and then you would have alt 1, alt 2. I thought I had, oh, here we go. So this is what it would look like on the next gen import. So you would have your team names, first name, last name, jersey number. You'd have team image numbers, no individual image numbers, no buddy image numbers, and everything goes into the alt poses. So alt 1, alt 2, alt 3, and alt 4. Okay, so that's where your multiple poses would flow into next gen. Okay, and then if I slide all the way over to the right, you can see how this is not normally there. This is just for this integration where these access codes live. Okay, so again, team images, alt 1, alt 2, alt 3, and alt 4. All right, so that's your multi-pose. All right, I'll come back here. All right, we're all good and uploaded. So I will just move this over for a second. And now if we come back here and I refresh this page, now we see we have an album. So we have a JPEG file, a JPEG folder right here. So now the thing we want to do is import our metadata. So this is our data sheet that has our image numbers on it. So that is right here. So the GotPhoto data sheet for this job. I say upload, and now we'll just go ahead and get that data. So that data is in the system now, and I want to tell it this first time to resort the photos based on the names list that I just uploaded, because I want it to create my galleries based on my access codes, and I want to create folders specifically for each team or group in the job. So now I just say apply, and now what it's doing is it's going back to that data sheet, looking at the structure of the access codes, the different teams, and it's grouping the files in the background into the structure that we frameworked in our job data. So basically the stuff that came through NextGen, that export sets up the job. So this is really nice because this is going to basically structure out this entire job for us. So now we see our JPEG folder now is empty. Okay, we could ultimately delete that JPEG folder now because all of the images that are inside of it have been sorted into these two different team folders. So we had two teams in our job, and now all of the images are in there. If I go ahead and click into one of the jobs, you can see that we have all of our different kids, so Carter and Hadley, They're all separated out based on their access code, which is the next-gen barcode. And we have all of these individual little galleries now set up under each team. But we can see that we don't have any group photos yet, okay? So basically, all you have to do, come back over here. And so now if we refresh, we'll see that now we have different folders here, just like we saw on the GotPhoto page. If I click on a team, and now I want to upload my group photo for this team. Now I just go select files. Remember, I had a team folder, and this is how you get your teams back from NextGen, so it's already structured this way. Just select the right team for this group. So I'm on the Wyland T-ball team. I'll say open, so it's sort of staged that. I'll click on the next team, do the same thing, and now I just say start upload. Upload those two group pictures. Boom, they're done. Now I can come back over. Wait, one's dragging a little bit. Come on. Second to let that one finish. Okay, boom. So now if I come back here and I refresh this page, now my group photo is being generated right here. Okay, so now I have this group photo that's tied to each group. And now when a parent logs in, they're not only going to see all their individual images, they will actually see their group photo as well. So we have one more upload to do. Just to structure this out even further, we need to get our memory mates in. And all we do is just click on the main job, go to our memory mates folder, and just drop our memory mates in. So now that our memory mates are staged, I'll go ahead and upload those memory mates. And again, it'll go super fast. And we will let those upload, and I'll make sure now, let me refresh one more time. Now that our thumbnail gets generated, when we go into the different folders, we should, I don't know why those are taking so long. I think it's just because I'm in this webinar, but that thumbnail, once it gets generated, that will be where the team picture lives. So we'll see that in a second. Let me see how this memory mates are coming. We're almost done. Super fast uploader. Kind of jealous of this uploader. So now one thing we need to do, because these memory mates are represented on that data sheet, we just want to jump back to our photo management tab and just apply this one more time. We don't want to resort because we've already sorted. We can see that the memory mates are there. We just want to apply the data sheet again. So now it's going to find those memory mates we just uploaded and add those into each one of the kids' folders. So we'll let that go. It usually happens pretty quick because most of it was already done, and we're not creating folders in the background. We're just doing that. And let me see if, so I did get the little email that says that the access code, everything got done that first time it processed. So it's kind of nice because if it's a big job, it may take it a minute to chunk away and build all the galleries and do all that stuff. So you can just close this and go do something else and wait until you get that email saying that it's done its back-end work there. So we will just let that go. Any questions while we let this little process happen? Okay, that's done. So now if we go into a team, now we see the team picture, we see the individual gallery, and you can see that it says there are more photos for this code, this access code, available in the memory mates folder. So in that folder, then we can, they're just separated out. So that basically then what we can do is go into our job, go into our photo management, we see our different folders, and we can assign the different, so let's say we have our memory mates. I want to assign the price profile of my memory mates. So now I hit save, and now you can see that it's going to sell based on that memory mate's price point. So it's going to limit what products, and it's going to set the price point for 8x10s or whatever that is. And then for our other little teams, it probably will just set up one by default, but we'll go ahead and do our main T&I for each one of these groups, so we can control how it sells and what products we are selling to each graphic. So there we go. So now everything's set up, the data's in there, and all of everything's ready. We're ready to go to selling. So that's basically it. So the steps were: get the stuff through NextGen like normal, download the files from the FTP server like normal, download the GotPhoto data from your details tab, which will include two different files. It will have the names list, just basic contact information, team structure, parent name, access codes. And then it will have the GotPhoto data set that actually has the image numbers in it. Would do that initial import into their system to set up the job, upload all our images into our different little folders, and then use the metadata file, the data sheet, to structure that out. There will be a recording of this, so you guys can always go back when you're ready to actually try this out and do this. You guys can watch this and go through the process. I'm not an expert at GotPhoto, but I was able to get this going in 20, 30 minutes, just doing it once, seeing those multiple steps, separating out the memory mates and all of that. So at this point, if I go and say start selling, it's going to basically push out the gallery to all that stuff. I'm actually going to confirm with GotPhoto if that's okay. If they're okay with that, then I will go ahead and push this to you guys so you can see the gallery. If you ever have started in GotPhoto, you did their QR codes, you upload the QR codes and the raw images into GotPhoto, it does the data match. Right here, if you go to the selling tab, scroll down, there's this student data export. You click it and say create export. This is where you will see NextGen roster. From right here, you can basically just download the roster that will have all of your image numbers on it. This is formatted, ready to be imported right into NextGen without doing any modification to it at all. So you won't have to move anything. The files are already in the right slot. So you have team images and then alt images, no individual and no buddy. So team, alt 1, alt 2, alt 3, and alt 4. Okay. Oh, he's got alt 5 on this one. Yeah, no more aligning images. You don't have to do any copy and pasting. The data that NextGen produces does not have to be modified before it is put into GotPhoto, and the data exports that GotPhoto produces for NextGen does not have to be modified at all to be imported into the NextGen system. So you know, right now in this phase 1, you do not have to do copy paste columns and all of that stuff. There is still obviously the export import process that we are going to eliminate in the phase 2. But for now, this is really simple. It's a really great way if you want to do gallery sales to get the great NextGen graphics and efficiently be able to move those over into GotPhoto and get those up for sale quickly. If you guys have questions, I know Bob Kenward has been using this since we got started, and he's loving the process. I think he said it takes him about 20 minutes, other than sometimes the time it takes to just physically upload. If you've got thousands and thousands of graphics, it could take some time for the uploading process. But as far as his actual, on the site, moving stuff around, that kind of stuff, it does not take that long at all to get your images out of NextGen and into GotPhoto and have some really great sales. So again, I'll go back to this. If you're interested in getting started with GotPhoto to use this integration, and I just had a conversation with somebody this morning, whether you're doing this, all of your images through post sales, or you're still doing, some prepay and some post sales, it's worth having this set up and knowing how to utilize this when it makes sense for certain jobs. I just talked to somebody this morning. They want to start trying this on their high schools because they feel like the sales are kind of slumped, and maybe people being able to see some graphics before they buy will allow for some more sales to happen. So, just having this set up to be able to utilize it when it makes sense is really good. It's good to have options. It's good to have some different tools at your disposal to use them as you need them. Okay, so I really recommend looking into this. If you've ever felt the need to have a gallery sales structure, this is a great process, and it is really easy to, given that you guys already know the NextGen processes, it's really easy to do those NextGen processes and then move it straight over into the GotPhoto area to get those galleries set up really quickly and easy, and be able to deliver private galleries of just a single athlete's pictures to the parents and let them buy and hopefully spend a lot of money. Okay, so I'll hang out until everybody logs off, just to make sure there aren't any lingering questions. If you guys do have any questions, obviously you can email support@nextgenphotosolutions.com, or go to nextgenphotosolutions.com and set up a one-on-one meeting with me, and we can walk through any specific questions you have, any specifics of how to fit this into your actual workflow. I can answer those questions if you guys have them. So we will make this recording available. You can watch it at your leisure. And I recommend going over to GotPhoto and sitting in on their deep dive tomorrow. I'm assuming it'll probably be about an hour like this one was, but it'll give you some insight from their side, where they're a little more obviously experts on their system. And if you've got questions about GotPhoto, a little deeper questions that I can answer, that would be a good opportunity to get some of those questions answered. Okay, thank you for everybody for logging in. Thank you everybody that might be watching this recording. Again, if you have questions, let me know. We're here for you. We're hoping this integration makes things simpler and increases your sales, and we love some feedback as well, so keep us in the loop. And I'll hang out until you guys are not logged in anymore. I do not, but I can I think that if you go to GotPhoto.com, they have an events page, and let's see if they have that listed here. I will get a link to their, I thought we had seen the link. I'll get the link and I will post it in the NextGen user group. So go over there and look for it in about 20 minutes or so. And just a reminder for everybody that's here, NextGen and GotPhoto will be at our workshop in the summer, and I will be at GotPhoto's workshop. So if you guys are looking for some workshops this summer, I'm going to be at their volume camp on Sunday the 26th. And then Benedict will also be at our workshop over the summer. So if you are interested in getting some further education this summer, both of those events would be really good to attend. Shameless plug. Go to the workshop. Come hang out with us. Okay, Missy just posted the GotPhoto webinar, and so did Jeff. So just click on one of those links and register if you are interested in attending their event tomorrow. Awesome. Thanks, Jeff. And if you have questions, let me know. I think it's going to be really great. All right. If you guys don't have questions, log out. I don't want to cut anybody off if you guys have questions, but I don't want, I'm just kind of hanging here. So log out if you don't have questions. All right. I'm going to assume Brandon and Everett are doing the dishes or something. So I'm going to log off. Thanks, guys. Bye.